What's up, YouTube? Ryotin-T here with another deck profile. This one's actually of my updated Athora deck. This is post Crossing Generations. It's the build I took and played. Why? Didn't really go to locals this week with this one, but play around with a couple friends. Been trying to play test it and get the ratios for it working correctly. And right now, I feel like this is the best build for it, in my opinion. But if you have any suggestions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Like before, Buddy still is Athora. So running for this one, the card that needs no explanation. Basically, it's your main target you want to go into because you can't take any damage. You can't be destroyed by card effects. So basically, you just have to get over it or get rid of the soul. Really good. New card that I'm actually trying out 4 of is Avatar the Glass Crystal Athora. Now this one is a 7/3/7, size 3, and you put call cost for the top card of your deck in this card's soul and pay 3 gauge. Now this card's in your center. This card in the field cannot be destroyed by card effects, so you still can take penetrate damage. So it's not like a Athora where you can block all that out. But if you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, you get to draw a card. And even though it's once per turn, it's still good, and plus it has built-in counter attack. So it's really good. I play this one at 4 as well. So that one actually replaced the trial deck Athora. Next up, a new card also is Jade Crystal Dragon, and it's a 6/2/6, size 3. Call cost, pay 1 gauge. And you have original size 3 Prism Dragon center. This card on your left or right is reduced by 3. So it comes to size 0 if you have a size 3 already on the field. And at the end of the battle, the Prism Dragon on your field is attacked, and you have Prism Dragon in your center. Deal 1 damage to your opponent. It only happens once per turn. So basically, it's your spikes, it's your Radiant Shell all in one. So a good combo is you have alternate field. You're basically dealing your opponent 3 damage if they can't get over you. And also combined with this Thor, you get counter attack. So this one I run at 2. Next up, 2 Green Crystal Dragon Sheldier. So I'm still running this one at 2. I'm playing around with the ratios for this one a lot, or see if I want to put in Candy Crystal again, but right now it's having 10 size 3s and just not being drawn to any good ones to attack with was not really working out for me, so I had to put this back in, but I put it at 2, and right now it's working. Next up, another new card is Red Crystal Dragon Tyrannet. It's a 2/1/1, size 0, and his effect is marching your center gets penetrate. So this is something I felt like Prism Dragons really needed, was to be deal that extra damage, put more pressure on, be a little bit more aggressive as well as defensive, and this card really adds to it. Only running this one at 2, because again, you don't want to be super cloggy, but when it's on the field, you want to keep it there. Next up, 4 Rizzling Steel, 1/3/1. You know what this does? You play on the field, you have a size 3, draw a card. So it's still part of your draw engine. I still max this one out. 1 Spicy Tech, Athora SD is a 3/1/3, size 0. Pay 1 gauge. Your original size 3 Prism Dragon on your center card can be destroyed on your left or right. Then also, if a size 3 Prism Dragon in your field will be destroyed, you can actually just send this to the drop zone and it stays on the field. So it's really good, especially if you're running out of protection in your hand. Next up, last Spicy Tech is 7 Amelie Earth Lord Countdown. 4/1/1, size 0. It's an Amelie Lord. And basically, if it's destroyed, pay a life, it comes back to the field. So it's really good to just keep something on the field at all times. Next up, onto the spells. Still running 4 Radiant Shells. You know, pay a gauge, notify attack, deal a damage. And then I also counteract that with 3 Prism Cancelers. So what this does is, it's the same thing as Radiant Shell, but you don't have to pay a gauge. So it's practically free. You just have to have a size 3 in your center. Actually, no, any Prism Dragon in your center. And you nullify attack, and you have item equipped, the card cannot be nullified. So it's really good, especially if you don't have the gauge, but you need to block attack. Then I run 1 Proto Barrier. And this is where if you just, your monster gets destroyed, you can't defend it. It nullifies attack, you put the top card of your deck in gauge. So it's just, if they try to get over you or even get Shadow Dive matchups, it just can kind of stop that. Next up, 3 Brush Uppers. This one I dropped down to 4. I added 4, went down to 3. They're playing around a lot. I feel like 3 right now is working the best because you don't want to be too cloggy. But if Prism Dragon leave your field, you play this card, get a gauge. The monster stays on the field. Next up, 3 mystery settings. I feel with all the soul removal right now, this is one of the best cards to have in your deck because you put in Prism Dragon and that soul cannot be removed. And also when it's attacked, you get a gauge. So mystery settings running at 3. Next up, some more destruction spells, and I have Prism Eye. So when your cards get really beefy, you can just basically pop a card. So what its effect is, pay 1 gauge with Prism Dragon in your center, destroy a monster in your opponent's field with power equal to or lower than the defense of a monster in your center. So it just easily, take out, on your assassins, bots, it's just able to pop them out. Well, not bots particularly, but, stop those chain attacks as much as you can. Next up, I'm running 2 Star Believer. Put soul from card in your field and drop zone, you gain 1 life and draw 2 cards. So this is really good. You counteract it with mystery settings, get rid of the soul you don't need, set up mystery settings in there, draw 2 plus 1. Then, I'm still running 4 enhancements. Put a top card in your gauge, draw a card. So this is good for everything. If you just need a gauge, if you don't have Prism Dragon, you still get a gauge. Next up, 2 visible lights. Now this one is, I still run at 2 because sometimes, with paying, 3 gauge for your two big boss monsters, it can hurt you a lot. So this one, you have 8 life or more, and you can put, 3 cards into your gauge. So it just easily helps you replenish, especially, when you start running out. It really helps. I thought about actually bumping Prism Eyes down to 2 and put this back at 3, but it's just, again, I don't want it clogged in my hand or going through my deck so much where I can deck out, which actually happened to me playtesting 3 times. Next up, my items. I'm still running Crystal Spikes. I have not transitioned over to the newer one yet. A lot of people tell me that it is better because it gets 1,000 everything, but I just feel having that nice offense in the deck works out better for me. So you have to deal damage and then get +2/+2 and cards can't be nullified. So yes, I know there's a way around this, and the other one does it too, but for me right now, just to whittle down my opponent, then also have the penetrating there, it's just to me really, really good. So still running this at 3. I may consider taking it in 1, or the new one. Then last but not least, still, in my opinion, one of the best impact cards in the game if you play the card right. Crystal Shoot. Pay 2 gauge. You have to take damage that turn. You have Prism Dragon. Deal 4 damage to your opponent. It can't be nullified. It can't revive. So this card is still really good, especially with, you could bind in things like Crystal Spikes and Radiant Shell, and then Jade Crystal. You can easily take your opponent down to that 4 mine. Because again, if you start the game off, they're at 10. You do, 3 or 2 damage, they're down to 7. You block 1 attack, they're down to 4, and then you can just wipe them out in a 2-turn victory, which I find is just very helpful, especially with this deck. So that's all I have to say on this one. Again, if you have any suggestions what I can do to improve this deck or what you feel will work better for it, just go ahead and leave it down below. Don't forget to like this video. Until next time, peace out.